Hey, good people, how you doing? David Taub here, co-creator of NextLevelGuitar.com. Hope all is going well, and I hope your guitar and musical journeys are going famously. I've been getting a lot of emails from students and viewers basically saying they need some help with their soloing, that they're trying to just assemble some licks, and it just sounds like scales, and it's just kind of jumbled together, and there's really not a lot of musical sense, and it's not sounding as good as they want. So I thought I'd put together an easy video lesson on basic kind of licks that we can kind of get to sound really good. They're really easy to play, but there's so much that you can do with it. And the jam track we're playing over today is just a basic 2-chord change in the key of E minor. It's just an E minor to a B minor. That's it, right? You want to pick jam tracks that, have simple chords and just a couple of them because it's easy to weave a solo in. Jam tracks are an essential tool for the practicing guitarists to hone their skills and to take what they're learning, putting it in a musical context, right? If you want to get this exact same jam track, this E minor to B minor kind of, Pink Floyd-esque kind of sounding psychedelic track, click on the link in the description box below. I'll send you my jam track coach. 6 killer sounding jam track, but the kicker is I'll send you 2 ebooks with that. And in the first ebook, I go over each of the tracks and I tell you what scales would work and why. I tell you the chords that are in the track. If you don't know a lot of those scales, I diagram them out in the second ebook, the scales ebook. So it's a really good package, and I'll send it to you for free. All you do, click on that link below. We're in the key of E minor. As soon as you see that, 95% of the time you could use E minor pentatonic or E blues over all the chords, no problem. You can also use the E natural minor scale, and that's just adding 2 notes to the minor pentatonic scale. It's really easy, and you get those beautiful half steps in there. So at the 12th fret, right, you might use that E minor pentatonic scale. Or E blues scale. Or you could try the E minor pentatonic and blues expanded scale. Here's that E natural minor scale, starting on that E note, 12th fret. Now I'm just playing these in the 12th position here, but obviously you want to learn the scale over the entire neck, right? And the notes in that E natural minor scale, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C, D, E. Right? Just one accidental F sharp. Now when you're soloing, of course, the big thing is not just the notes that you're playing, right? It's how you play them. What you're doing with the notes, taking the notes and doing musically interesting things. The other thing too is, if you noticed at the beginning of the solo, I was timing when the chords change and I was landing on certain notes as the chords change. And that's very, very important because you make really strong solo statements. Because remember, when you're playing this diatonic 7-note scale, or you're playing the minor pentatonic, the 5-note scale, some of those notes are going to sound good, but some of them might sound even better. Especially the notes that make up the chords or the chord tones. An E minor chord has the notes E, right? Has your 5th, which is a B, and has the G, which is your flat 3rd. And in the B minor chord, you have your root, or 1, B. You have your 5th, which is your F sharp. And then you also have that D, your flat 3rd. So keep those notes in mind. Let's take those top 2 strings at first, right? So if we look at these 2 strings, the notes we were playing up here. Okay, so let's just create some licks. Kind of very melodic. It's over the E minor chord, right? So all I'm doing there is I'm doing a string rake where I have my palm on the strings. I get that sound because I'm playing with my first finger barring the high E, B, and G at the 12th fret. And then what I do is I hammer from the 12th to the 14th with my third finger. And you get that sound. Then I go back to the 12th with my first finger. And then 12th fret on the B string. There's first finger, that's the E note, high E string, B note. Right? Notice I'm playing that B note, which is in the E minor chord. The E especially is the root. And then you slide out of it. The other thing is I'm leaving lots of space. It's a nice slow jam track. The chords are moving slow. You want to leave space. So important, the relationship between chords and scales, and what scales you like over what chords. So this is in the back of your mind. Always know the chords that you're playing over. I use these long slides where I came way out of the scale and just grab anything. It doesn't matter because you're moving so quick, ear won't pick up the dissonance. But you pick up that cool sounding slide. But here's the kicker. Remember I said to keep in mind when the chords change? Because we might want to pick certain notes out. Notice the chords change. The B minor, right when I go to that F sharp note. And that's important because that F sharp is that very strong fifth, right? In a B minor chord, remember? You have that F sharp note. And what I did was I played the F sharp note as the chords changed. And then I went right to the B note. The hip notes I like are that F sharp. Right? Because it's so strong in the B minor chord, but it's also the 9th or 2nd in the E minor chord. And it sounds really good, like when I was doing those bends. That's a great bend. I love doing that where I'm playing rake, 12th fret, 14th fret, 15th fret, back to the 14th, but I bend it a half step. That's a winner. Then you can release it and vibrato it. Then I go like 12th fret, high E, and there's my B note. That B note is strong over both chords, right? Obviously it's the root note in the B minor, and it's in the E minor chord. Here's another lick based off of the other one I was doing. Right? You could repeat it. Right? There's a lot of different variations. Again, really simple, easy. They string together so well. You can almost hear the chords changing under the lead notes because now your ear is getting dialed into that, right? I'm outlining the chords with the notes that I'm playing. You want to do some cool string bending to throw in there? A lick like that. I'm bending the B string. I'm bending that 15th fret up to the E note, the 17th fret. Sounds great over the E minor chord. And now when I let it down, I'm pulling off to the 12th on the B. And then I bend it back up. Release it. Bend it up again. I'll do it slow. And then vibrato it so you get licks like that. So you can see the power in what we're doing here. Very easy licks, taking our time with them, leaving lots of space, and using these devices and techniques, string bending, hammer-ons, pull-ons, slides, creating nuance, and taking the notes and doing musically interesting things with them in a musical context, over the jam tracks. That's how you want to practice this. So put that jam track on and just get lost in it, but as you're listening to it, listen for that E minor chord, and then when it changes, just play it a couple times and notice when they change. Have that in the back of your mind, and then start fooling around with your landing notes, even if you're just using this, right? That very basic natural minor scale. Subscribe to the channel. That's really important because you'll know when those videos come out, and lots of our other content. It really helps us keep the content coming when you subscribe. Don't forget, get those jam tracks. Click on that link. Thank you so much for your support over the years. So appreciated. Keep putting those guitars in your hands every day. Stay positive, and remember, your guitar playing is an evolution. Take care and rock on.